Hey girlies! I know this video is a very long video. Ranking all the classes I took in high school is kind of a hard task to do because I took a lot of classes. So for your convenience, I have added timestamps so you can skip around as much as you want. This entire video is pretty much a high school experience expose. It's low-key giving CNMA, but in my defense, high school gave me a lot of emotional damage and more. So if anything, I deserve to do this. This entire video is purely for entertainment purposes, but if you do learn a thing or two from this video, that's cool. You probably will because I don't ever shut the fuck. Also, do not compare yourself to me or to others and go fishing for compliments because that is so annoying, if you get what I mean. This entire video is based on my experience and opinions, and if you think differently, that's okay. But this is my video we're watching, so shut the f. Thanks for watching, and let's get on with my video that is about the same length as CGI Cats 2019. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I keep having to refilm this intro over and over again because my mind just gets so lost when I am filming these. It is really late at night. Well, it's not that late. It's not 12 a.m. yet, but it's still past my bedtime and I'm really tired and my mind is just really lots of big fluffy clouds.
I just want to touch you, tease you, you, please you, love you, hold you, make love to you. I'm gonna kiss you, you, feel you.
So if you were to ask me to take some sort of test right now, I wouldn't be able to take it right now because of how delirious I am and how delirious I feel and how just... You see, I can't even English right now, so it's probably a bad idea for me to film a video right now, but I mean, are we that surprised? Most of the videos on this channel, in fact, almost all of them were filmed at night, so around this time or later. And what I mean by later is 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Your mom o'clock a.m., you know. Or you don't know. I don't know if you can tell, but I look like a caveman right now because there's no light. I live in a cave. Yeah. As for the reason why I am filming this video, one, everyone is preparing to go back to school, or actually a lot of people have already gone back to school. I know my high school, they already started the school year already. They started literally the beginning of this month, which oh my god, I want to rant on and on about this, but that's not the point of this video, and I'll rant about it when I make a video about advice I'm going to give to high schoolers. I do want to make that video, but I need more planning because I have a lot to say. I've experienced so many things in high school that I need to plan out what I say because I just have so much to say. Okay, that's not the point of this video. So the reason why I want to film this video is, yeah, everybody's already going back to school or is preparing to go back to school. And as for me, I haven't really started preparing to go back to school yet. I go to college in less than 2 weeks. By the way, I just graduated high school a few months ago. I graduated class of 2022. So it's not like I've been in college for a long time. I want to make videos that have to do with school, but I haven't gone back to school shopping yet or anything, so I guess this video will do. And two, I think it would be really interesting for me to just talk about all the classes I took in high school because maybe you're wondering what classes I took. So I don't know, maybe you don't know what classes you want to take, so I don't know. I don't know why you would search on the internet when you should be asking your friends or something who actually go to the same school as you and not someone who already graduated, who went to a completely different school and learned completely different curriculum. I don't know, I just have a lot to say about all the classes I took during my time in high school, and I'll just be exposing myself a lot in this video too. I wouldn't say this video is made for educational purposes. This video is just purely made for entertainment. This video is just for fun. I also am in the mood to do some ranking with a tier list. So put that and my need to make school videos together. That's how this video, I came up with this video. Okay, I don't know what else to say because I am so tired. My mind is literally empty right now, but I have my computer here, so I'm going to screen record my computer and I'm going to be ranking all the classes I took in high school. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, I probably didn't, but as for the type of classes I took in high school, I took as many APs and honors classes as I could. Other people may think I haven't taken a lot of AP and honors classes, but I think I took a lot. I mean, I tried to fit as many as I could into my schedule, and I also had certain classes in my schedule for like all 4 years of high school. I had to take those classes, but there was only one period, so I experienced a lot of like scheduling conflicts with the classes I wanted to take. So overall, like every single year of high school, my schedule wasn't the most flexible, so it would be pretty difficult to fit all of the classes I wanted to take. Kind of like Hermione Granger in Prisoner of Azkaban, but without the time turner. Yeah, just a lot of scheduling conflicts. Anyway, let's get started with this video. I'm so done talking right now. So first, I should explain all the categories I have on my tier list. So I have 5 different categories. I'm gonna list them from like top to bottom, so like best to worst or whatever you'd like to call it. So the first category is called ate, as in like the past tense of eat. I just realized that ate and eat are like the same letters, but like they're like reversed and shit. So okay, ate. What do I mean by that? It just means the class is 8. Like the class is just completely worth it. I mean, like if I eat it and I eat it completely, I ate it, like, you know, that means the class is just really good. And it would also mean that I would love to eat your ass. Next category is still hungry but cute. So, you know, you're not as tasty and delicioso as 8, but, you know, I still did enjoy you, but just not completely. I don't know how to explain it. The third category is called bland. So, I mean, I guess you kind of did 8, but like, I don't know, like you're just pretty mid. Like, I don't want to eat you again, but at the same time, you're not the worst thing I've ever eaten. So like, low-key, I'm kind of hungry right now. These cookies are so good. I found them at Costco. Like, oh my god, they're so good. Like, you know how like other small businesses or whatever, they set up their own booths at Costco? Like, this was one of them. And like, these taste so good. Oh my god. And these are gluten-free and sugar-free and keto-friendly. Like, I mean, I don't have to worry about any of those things because, like, I'm still a literal fucking child. No, I'm an adult now, but I don't pay too much attention to my diet. But, these taste so good. Oh my god, shut the fuck up! Okay, I feel like I shouldn't leave y'all hanging with, like, oh my god, what cookies are you fucking talking about? So here's a picture of the box. I'm too lazy to bring it upstairs. The next category is called no nutritional value. And it kind of literally just means what it says. There was literally no point in me, like, eating you in the first place. Like, it didn't benefit me in any way. Like, it didn't kill me, but you were also kind of like a waste of my time and my energy, and like you're just a waste of space.
Bad, not good.
The fifth and last and final category is called deathly allergic. I don't think I really need to explain this category. I mean, like, you can probably already like kind of understand what this category means just by the death and deathly allergic. Yeah, just deathly allergic. Never again. Out of my sight, out of my mouth, get out of my face. Like, just don't exist anymore. Like, go Thanos snap yourself or something. I don't know. So yeah, those are all 5 categories I have, and now I'm going to start ranking all my classes. So here's my tier list. You can see the 5 categories. The classes you see at the bottom are not in order of like the classes I took during my high school career. Like, for one, English 3-4 is a class you take during your sophomore year, not freshman year. Even though I will be ranking these classes out of order, I'm still gonna do my best to explain when I took these classes, and just, yeah, I'm gonna do my best to give you a timeline. I'm also going to be talking about my experience in all of these classes, so I'm going to be talking a lot in this video, so I hope you like talking. Oh, also I forgot to mention that the names I put for all these classes in this video aren't their actual names. Like, those are just the names I call them. Like, for example, A1 stands for Accelerated Math 1, but like everyone calls it A1. We don't call it by its full name, Accelerated Math 1. And also, I forgot to mention that the classes I took at my high school are most likely called completely different things compared to like the equivalent of the classes you take at your high school. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but I mostly see it with math classes. Like, for my school's math classes, we call it like Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, but like other schools may call it like geometry or algebra or algebra 1, algebra 2. I don't know, because I don't go to these other high schools. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. If I mention a class you've never heard of, you probably do have that class. It's just under a different name because we didn't go to the same high school. So I just want to get that out of the way. Okay, let's actually start with the video. So the first class I'm going to be ranking is English 3-4. So English 3-4 is like the English class you take during your sophomore year. So yeah, I took it during my sophomore year. It's a regular class. I originally wanted English Honors 3-4, but I didn't get it because it didn't fit into my schedule. Actually, my whole sophomore year schedule was like completely fucked up. I don't know how it is with other schools. I heard that at other schools it's the counselors who choose the classes for their students, but at my school and like at the other high schools in my my school district, all of the classes are generated by a computer. So like there are no biases or anything, and they just make a schedule that fits best for you time-wise, if that makes sense. So I had a lot of scheduling conflicts, so I guess like the computer just gave me all regular classes even though I requested all honors and AP. I did manage to transfer into an honors math class that was weighted, but like that's it. That was the only honors class I took that year, which was pretty disappointing. I genuinely wanted to unalive myself that year. I was like not having it my sophomore year, which sounds really stupid, but I have this problem where like when I'm bored, I want to unalive myself, and I'll talk more about it with like the other classes I'm going to be ranking, because like in some other classes I was even more bored. Okay, back to English 3-4. Actually, I don't know how to exactly explain my English 3-4 experience. Like, yeah, it was a regular class. I didn't learn shit. In fact, I never even wrote an essay in that class. Yeah, and then the next school year I took AP Lang, and AP Lang you're supposed to be writing a bunch of essays, so like it was kind of like culture shock or whatever, because I haven't written any essays during my sophomore year of English. But I had 4 different teachers for English 3-4 during my sophomore year. It was crazy. So I originally was placed in this one teacher's class, and then because like, you know, as a counselor does, and they like move around your schedule after they've been generated by the computer, so I had my schedule switched around, so I ended up transferring to a different English 3-4 class. So yeah, I had a completely different teacher, and this teacher was really nice. I actually really liked this teacher, but she quit before Thanksgiving break. I mean, she didn't quit because she hated us. She quit because she found a better job opportunity that like, it was like a job she wanted to do more, and a job that fit her interests more. So, you know, it's not like she hated us, that's why she quit, or like she was fired or anything. But yeah, I really liked that teacher. She actually like tried to teach us, and she tried to teach us grammar and stuff, because she knew that like a lot of people in my class were struggling with grammar. And overall, she like always kept her classes interesting. Yeah, so then we had a sub, and we had this sub for like 2 months. I didn't really like this sub. I kind of really disliked this sub, and then it took kind of like a really long time to find like an actual teacher. So once we had this actual teacher, at first all of us hated her because she had a completely different teaching style. Like, she had a completely different teaching style. She was like a really young teacher, but it turned out that like she was like a lot more relatable than we thought. You could definitely tell after a while of her being our teacher that, you know, as a class we liked her more. Like, we got used to her and we just accepted her as our teacher. And then quarantine happened, so it's not like we had her for like a really long time. But yeah, she actually wasn't that bad of a teacher. She actually taught, and she tried to incorporate a lot of different things into her teaching. So yeah, well, actually she was a pretty good teacher, but we didn't have her that long to begin with. But I mean, she was a really nice person. The whole situation kind of felt like, oh, our mother, you know, our original teacher, she left us, so now we're stuck with our stepmom, who at first we didn't like, and our stepmom is very understanding of that and is trying to regain our trust and knows that it won't happen overnight, so she puts an effort to regain our trust, and then things got a lot better. And yeah, so yeah, my English 3-4 experience was definitely very, very interesting. So I'm gonna have to put this in Still Hungry But Cute. Did I mention that like I literally did not learn anything in the class? Like, it was the class I did all my math and physics homework in. So okay, next class. Okay, physics. I also took this class during my sophomore year, and I took regular physics, not AP physics. Regular and AP physics were the same class. Like, it was a combo class, and we learned the same stuff, and we were both being lectured at the same time. It's just that AP and regular were graded like differently and had different grading scales and stuff. The only reason why I took physics was because I need to transfer into another science class because I was not enjoying my time in regular chemistry. I'm telling you, like, my sophomore year schedule was like really fucked up. It was so fucked up that one of my teachers was trying to help me out with my schedule and stuff, and was trying to put me into her honors chem class, and she was even telling me how messed up my schedule was. Messed up as in, oh my god, your schedule is really stiff. How did you even get a schedule like this type messed up? Like, I originally did not get any of the classes I wanted, and I think it really showed like how unprepared I was for this class because I was struggling the whole school year. I feel like with physics, well, of course, like this level of physics C, like that's a different story. But with physics, the stuff is not that difficult. It's just a bunch of formulas. Like, as long as you know how to plug in like these formulas into whatever problem you're solving, like you should be fine. But these formulas can get really confusing, and just like the concepts behind these formulas, like I honestly just think it depends on the teacher. Like, physics is easy if you have the right teacher. My physics teacher actually did teach, and he did lecture a lot and stuff, but he was kind of hard. He was really hard, and I I always felt very intimidated to talk to him because like he was just really intimidating and stuff. And I always dreaded going to his class, but at the same time, like at least I was challenged in the class, you know? Like I didn't feel like I wanted to unalive myself in that class. Well, I did, but like not like that wasn't. Like in my mind 24/7 when I was in his class, which was a lot better. I wasn't really having like panic, anxiety attacks in his class too. I did struggle a lot, and yeah, I struggled the whole school year. I feel like I should mention this because this happened with me. I struggled so much in physics that I was able to bond with some of my other classmates over how we all struggled in this class. So even though I struggled so much, this class wasn't entirely bad if you look at things through a positive perspective. I also did take the AP exam, which I actually didn't do the worst, but I still did do pretty bad. And it's kind of unfortunate too. Like I joined physics a month into the school year, so like they were already learning things, and so I was already behind to begin with, and like nothing ever clicked for me until the end of the school year. Like I did not understand kinematics until November, December. So like that was how behind I was, and then by the time like the school year ended, everything finally made sense for once. But you know, that was too late. And also this class required so much commitment. I think it's just like the teacher, like honestly, like I'm pretty sure university physics would be easier than like my high school physics teacher's class. Like the teacher actually teaches, but he's just really hard. And you also have to devote a lot of your own time, so like a lot of time during lunch and after school, which I didn't really have because I had a 7th period and I had like sports practice and I had band rehearsal and stuff. So like it was really hard to go to his classroom during my own time when I didn't have my own time in the first place, if that makes any sense. Okay, as much as I suffered in this class, I am going to put this class in bland. I did suffer, but I also did make a lot of fun memories in that class. I remember making clay mountains and clay snowmen and just like talking shit with my classmates, gossiping, you know, and just like making a lot of memes of my physics teacher. Like we had a physics group chat with everyone who took physics, and we would take pictures of the board but also take pictures of the teacher, and we'd make memes. And like I made like a very good meme that like even like the people in physics C saw. I turned my teacher into a Fisco girl. By the way, physics is typically a class upperclassmen take, and I took this class as a sophomore. The year I took physics, there were only like 4 or 5 other sophomores taking physics as well. The rest of the people taking physics, which is kind of like a whole cult, they're all juniors and seniors. Like I definitely did make really good memories in this class. I wish I made more good memories, but still, like they're really good memories. Also, like yeah, at the end of the school year, everything finally clicked, and after my sophomore year, the summer before junior year, I took a Stanford physics course, and yeah, like I understood everything in that class, and for that I kind of have to thank my physics class from sophomore year. So yeah, that's why, you know, I could rank it worse from how much I suffered, but like I made a lot of good memories, and at the end of the day I ended up learning something and learning things that actually helped me in like classes I would take in the future. I'm sorry, that was a lot. Like I have a lot to say about physics. Actually I have even more things to say, but I don't think you care at this point. Okay, I just remembered a really funny story in physics. So the whole class was doing a lab, and my lab group, we were speaking in Chinese, and then the physics teacher walked past us and he started speaking in Chinese too to us. It was so weird and funny because the physics teacher is a white dude, so it was really unexpected. Okay, so that's physics. The next class is French 3-4. So this is a class you take when you're taking like your 2nd year of French. So I took this my sophomore year. By the way, I took French all 4 years of high school. So I took like French 1-2, French 3-4, French 5-6, and AP French. I love my French teacher. I'm gonna say this even more in this video, but I love my French teacher so much. She is so nice, and she really takes the effort to get to know her students, and she really tries to interact and talk to her students, and like she talks about her day and it's not time yet. I love French in general, but the thing is with like French 3-4, like that's when you start learning a lot harder things. Like French 1-2 was pretty easy, like, and it was pretty easy to understand, but like French 3-4, that's when things start getting like a bit harder. I mean, like the textbook isn't even in English anymore, everything's in French. Okay, TBH, like all 4 years of French, like I relied on Google Translate, okay? I'm really exposing myself here. I didn't learn as much in French 3-4 as I did in French 1-2, but I still did make a lot of good memories in French 3-4, so I'm gonna put get this in Still Hungry But Cute. The next class is Accelerated Math 3, or as I call it, A3. So this is the third level of math, and it is an honors class. So the regular math class is Math 3, but the honors version of it is Accelerated Math 3. So like the first semester we learned So the first semester was, I think, like algebra, and then the second semester was pre-calc and trig. It's been a while. Like typically this is a class you take during your junior year, but I took this my sophomore year. I was a year ahead in math because I took a math class over the summer. I also did make a lot of good memories in this class, and the teacher was really nice. It was really hard to learn from her teaching style. When she would teach the class, she would just basically copy problems out of the textbook. But the teacher was really nice, and she's also like very happy and bubbly, and just she would also talk about her personal life as well, and she was definitely one of those teachers you could relate to. It was really hard to learn things in that class, and Accelerated Math 3 in general is just a hard math class. It's also weighted too, so I think that just really shows like the difficulty of this class. Okay, I'm gonna put A3 and Still Hungry But Cute. Like I did have fun in this class, and I made a lot of good memories, but it was really hard to learn concepts and stuff. So the next class I'm going to be ranking is US History. So I took US History over the summer before my junior year. It's typically a class you take during your junior year. When you take classes over the summer, you can really only take like the regular version of classes. You obviously can't take any AP classes over the summer because you take AP exams like in May. So there's no way like you can take an AP class like over the course of like 6 weeks or something. I took US History over the summer with like the summer program my school district holds. Ooh, I will say this though. When you do take classes over the summer, you want to make sure your credits are able to be transferred to your high school in the first place. Like in this case, when I took US History, I took it under my school district's summer program. So obviously the credits would be able to transfer. It would really be a shame for you to put like a lot of work into a summer class that you won't be able to benefit from. I can't English right now, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so I took US History over the summer, and I have so much to say about this class, and I don't even know if like this is like appropriate for me to say, but the teacher drove me so crazy. And okay, I don't know why like all of these things happened to me and just me only. Like I don't know what I did to deserve his treatment, but he treated me like shit, and he treated me completely different compared to everyone else in my class. Okay, the class itself, like personally I find US History interesting, so maybe it's because there's like a musical out there by the name of I don't know, Alexander Hamilton or whatever. Gotta love a musical named after a person I've never heard of until the musical. So anyway, yeah, I personally find US History interesting, but no matter how interesting the class is, if the teacher treats you like shit, there's no way you can enjoy what you're learning, you know? Or if you somehow do enjoy it, you're still gonna have a difficult time in that class. My US History teacher, luckily he taught at like a different high school in my school district, so luckily I wouldn't have to see him, you know, every day when I'm like at my own high school, because that would really be a shame, and that would like trigger my PTSD so much. Yes, like I genuinely suffered in this class, but not in the way of like, oh, this class is so hard. No, like he literally drove me so insane. During the summer, I was also taking Stanford classes as well, so I definitely had a lot on my plate. And you'd think that, oh, like I would be struggling with the college classes because I'm a high school student, but no, like I was literally complaining about my high school US History teacher to my college professors, and then like they were the ones telling me, or they're like backing me up with my point that, oh, like he's treating me like shit, I shouldn't be treated like this, he's treating me like completely unfairly and stuff. Actually, even one of my professors told me, thanks for telling me how to not teach. That professor was actually a really good teacher. Actually, all my professors were really good teachers. They actually taught, and they taught a lot, and they taught really well. And I believe the professor who said that was like a relatively new professor, so she hasn't been teaching that long as a professor. I mean, she has a PhD, so I'm pretty sure she had to have some teaching experience before getting the PhD, but still, that's something my girl boss professor said about my high school US History teacher. So yeah, he wouldn't respond to any of my emails, but he would respond to everyone else's emails, like when I needed help and stuff, like, and I needed a lot of help too. You see, he didn't actually even teach, really. He did lecture a bit, but most of the work was on like this online program that like, it's where if you fail a class, you retake it online using this program. This program's called Accelis. That's what my school uses. And mind you, like typically people use Acellus when they failed a class and they need to retake it. And Acellus is free to use. Like, I didn't just pay over $300 to take a class over the summer on a program that during the typical school year, or typically when people would use it, they wouldn't have to pay in the first place. I'm sorry, my English is not Englishing right now, but like, do you get my point? Like, there's that aspect too. And so like, in order to move on to like the next unit or whatever, the next lesson, he'd need to unlock shit. And he would never unlock shit when like I email him or I remind message him, and like he would just never respond to me, but he would respond to all of my other classmates. When you take classes over the summer, like everything you learn over the course of a whole school year, you learn in like 6 weeks or so. So yeah, this class went by really quickly. I'm sorry, my dog is barking right now, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. My puppy Nolan, he needed to go pee, so I had to take him outside, and after that I need to pee, which actually this is like a really cute story. Story time! So I was peeing, and then I told Nolan to stay with me, and then he laid down next to me. By the way, Nolan is supposed to be my service dog, but he hasn't done any training yet because he's only like, he's still 3 months old, okay? Like, he barely knows where to pee pee poo poo. Nolan's not a teenager yet. He's still a complete baby. But anyway, so yeah, now he's in my room, and if you hear squeaking in the background, it's Nolan. Or if you hear like a bunch of like, you know, like running around, that's Nolan. He's a puppy. So okay, this video isn't about my dog. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's go back to the video. By the end of the 6 weeks, like, he didn't actually help me until the night before the last day of school, which is ridiculous. Like, I've been asking for help since like the 2nd week, or like the end of the 2nd week, and he only finally helps me the night before the last day of the 6 weeks. It's like the night before the last day, and only because I brought my mom into it. Like, normally I don't bring my parents into my own issues. Like, I like resolve my own issues on my own, but for this I really need to bring in my mom, and that's when my teacher finally helped me. Like, I do not need my mom to advocate for me when I need help. Like, you shouldn't only be helping me because my mom asked you to help me. You should be helping me when I ask you to help me, not when my mom tells you to help me. Like, I can go on about this. Like, there are like a lot of like tiny ass details I'm missing too, and the only reason why he finally responds to me was because I asked my other classmates to message him to respond to me. And then when I tried to expose the teacher, like how the teacher has been treating me, to my classmates, so this was the last week of like the summer class. Yeah, it was the night before the last day of school. Yeah, my classmates and I were in this group chat for our class, so I tried to tell them how the teacher treated me, and they just thought I was seeking attention, and they were telling me things that like, wow, no shit, I didn't know that I should have just remind messaged him. Like, it's totally not like I've been doing both. It's totally like I haven't been doing that this whole time. It just seemed as if they didn't believe me. It's just really unfortunate. So yeah, like, I don't know why these type of things always happen to me, and this isn't the only teacher I've had this sort of experience with. Like, I've had this with like a bunch of other teachers too. Like, I literally do not understand why. I really do like the content in US history. Like, I think learning about your own country is always interesting, even though America is still like racist and sexist, and obviously like I am not thriving in this country, or at least thriving as much as I should be. But I don't know, like, history is fun. So as much as I love learning about US history, again, not that I like America, it's just, again, like, I just think history is interesting. I'm gonna put this in Deathly Allergic. Like, I love the content, but the class itself was not good. Like, no teacher should ever have to make you feel like that. And when I tried to report the teacher, my school didn't try to help me at all. So maybe I should have tried to advocate for myself more, but at the same time, like, I'm still only a student. Like, I am only this many years old. Like, I don't know what to do. I am not that mature in the first place to know what to do, you know? I just have so many things to say about this class, and there are so many things I left out. Not good things. I do want to add that you should definitely take US history seriously, even if you are not the type of person who likes history classes. Something that is really important for us to learn is how our country was built on oppression and slavery, and on stolen land too. Our country has had such a gruesome past, and even to this day, there's so many things about this country that haven't changed since our country was founded back in like the 1700s. Like, times are changing, our country needs change, and for these changes to happen, we need to learn about our past, and we need to learn to not make the same mistakes as we did in the past. So learning about US history is definitely very important. In fact, there are even like certain states that are changing the curriculum of US history. Like, there are literally certain states that don't want to teach slavery at all, even though we all know slavery was a huge part in our country's history. Like, Anyway, I could care less if you don't take the rest of your classes seriously. Just take this class seriously. The next class is elementary calc. I took this class my junior year. I guess it's typically a class you take during your senior year. Pretty much almost everybody in my class was a senior, except for like a few of us. I think there was even like a sophomore in my class, if I'm not mistaken. During my junior year, because of quarantine, we all had to do online school. We didn't do in person. Like at some point during my junior year, we could go back in person for like hybrid learning, but I never went back on campus. So yeah, like the teacher, she's not too bad. I didn't hate her, but at the same time, like I just never really could like relate to her. But like when I told her about my problems, like she would understand because she's also a mother herself. So she's not like mean or anything. It's just like I just didn't feel like that connected to this class. I originally wanted to take AP Calc AB, but I never got that class in the first place because of like scheduling conflicts and stuff. But it's fine because like all of the other classes during my junior year were like classes I wanted to take. It was definitely a lot better than my sophomore year. But yeah, like I didn't have the worst time in this class. I also did not learn anything in this class, but it's not like, I don't know, it wasn't like US history. So I'm gonna put this in no nutritional value.
I have a headache.
Like honestly, I don't even remember what I learned in that class. If anything, I literally didn't do any of the work because during my junior year I was like going through a lot of shit. Like every single year of high school I was always going through something or a lot of things, and junior year I was going through like way too much, and like that was when like things were really breaking for me. Like I was like really very much at my breaking point. It's okay, like the teacher's understanding. Like I didn't even take the final exam. I just told the teacher that I didn't want to take it and she just let me not take it. I do have to say though, I never talked to any of my classmates. I only talked to one of my classmates like once, and that was like beginning of the school year. After that I literally never talked to anyone in my class. So when I say I never felt connected to my class, yeah, I really didn't feel that connected to my class. The next class I'm ranking is AP Chem. I also took this my junior year, and it was a class I originally wanted to take. I actually took 2 science classes that school year, and they were both AP. I took AP Chem and AP Environmental Science at the same time. But right now we're talking about AP Chem. You'll find out later in this video, but I never actually really took a chemistry class before taking AP Chem. I just like dove straight into AP Chem. The teacher was really good, but I wasn't in a good like mental physical state to like actually get anything out of that class. And also the class is online too, so it's not like I ever touched lab equipment. Like you'd think in AP Chem like you'd be doing a lot of labs and experiments, and like you'd be like playing with fire and stuff and like different chemicals and things like that. But yeah, no, you couldn't really do that over a computer screen. So yeah, I may have taken AP Chem, but I never actually touched any lab equipment. AP Chem is notoriously known to be like one of the hardest classes my school offers. It's AP Chem and physics. Like they're like the hardest classes you can take at my school. And maybe BC too, but I've never taken Calc BC before, so I wouldn't exactly know. I think with AP Chem, like universally, it's a really hard class. Yeah, but again, like I wasn't in a good mental or physical state to actually, you know, learn and remember anything. And I was going through a lot. And I actually really liked the AP Chem teacher a lot. Like she was really nice, she was very understanding, and she helped me through my problems, and she like helped me get help basically. So as appreciative as I am for the teacher, the class, it's Nolan, don't eat my camera. Oh, don't step on my phone. The class itself, I didn't actually learn anything, so I'm gonna have to put it in no nutritional value. And this is my dog's mouth, guys. Oh. Nolan, guys, this is my puppy Nolan. He's getting so big, he can't see, but he's gotten so much bigger. Next class, AP Lang. Hi Nolan. Hi baby. So AP Lang I took during my junior year. AP Lang stands for like AP Language and Composition, I believe. So in this class, you're supposed to write a bunch of essays and shit, and like just like read a bunch of passages and like analyze just like how the passages were written, and then you're supposed to write a bunch of essays too. I think I said that already. Nolan, stop. Guys, how am I supposed to film a video like this? When the rain washes you clean, you know. Oh, thunder, holy, turn left. Not on my computer. Baby, stop. So I really did not learn anything in AP Lang, unfortunately, and I barely wrote any essays too. The only essays I've written were like practice essays for like the AP Lang, AP for the AP exam. Nolan, stop. That's Nolan. He's just sitting there on my bed. Okay. No more filming. Stop eating my camera strap, baby. I'm sorry, this video is just getting even more and more chaotic, which is not. Baby, what's wrong? It's because you want attention? Okay, I'll hold your hand throughout the whole video, okay? I mean, also, I think it depends on your teacher and like how well they prepare you for the AP exam and stuff, but my teacher didn't really prepare us that well. Most of the work we did was just like group work, like expressing our feelings and just like group discussions. We never really actually got any homework to begin with, and I really didn't feel prepared for the exam at all. Sorry, my dog is barking. And also keep in mind that like the last time I wrote any essays at the time was my freshman year. I did not write any essays whatsoever my sophomore year. And then suddenly joining a class where you're supposed to write a bunch of essays. Culture shock. Maybe I put that onto myself, but at the same time, all the teachers I had that year admitted that all their students and all their classes are at different places learning-wise because of how the school year was cut short abruptly because of COVID and quarantine, and how everyone's behind, and also how online learning is making teaching their students even harder and like keeping them on track even harder. So yeah, there's that too. I don't know how I did on the AP Lang exam. I never checked my scores from junior year, and as for like senior year, I never took any AP exams. Like I took the class but not the exam, just because like what's the point? Like it's most likely not going to be transferable anyway, and also it's just like too much stress. I want to be as stress-free as possible during my senior year, especially when graduation's coming up. Like dude, when everyone else is cramming for their exams, like I want to be sleeping, But yeah, AP Lang, I really didn't learn anything, and I honestly just took the class because of the GPA boost, and also so I wouldn't be bored, but I was also really bored in that class anyway.
I have a headache.
French 5-6. So this is the third year of French, and I took this my junior year. So yeah, I took this online, and honestly, like learning French online is a lot harder to do than learning French in person. And again, during this time, like I was not mentally or physically stable at all. So it was really hard for me to learn stuff, especially like with like this level of French. It's your third year. Each year just gets even more difficult. So like the concepts and like terms we were learning were like even more difficult than like 3-4. Yeah, Google Translate was my best friend, but I really don't remember much from French 5-6 just because like it was like during a really hard time in my life. We weren't able to do much in this class in the first place because like everything was online. I mean, it wasn't just French that was like this. I'm pretty sure like every teacher was like struggling to teach their kids through a computer screen. Like it's not easy, especially like after being so used to teaching in person because that's all they've ever done, and then they just suddenly need to teach all their students like a year's worth of curriculum when like everybody's probably behind in the first place. As much as I love French in general and like my teacher, I'm gonna have to put French 5-6 in
I have
no
a
nutritional value. But yeah, it's just like this specific year, like not only was the curriculum a lot harder, it was just a lot harder to learn because it was online and I was going through a lot during this time. So, and then when I was in AP French, like culture shock, because like I didn't learn anything in 5-6, and now I'm taking like an AP class that has to do with curriculum that I never actually learned. Like yeah, Google Translate was my best friend. Next class, apes. So apes stands for AP Environmental Science, and that's what everybody calls AP Environmental Science. I don't know if it's just like people in my school who call it apes or like everybody just calls it apes in general, but yeah, not to be mistaken with our ancestors. Oh, baby. So I took this science class at the same time as AP Chem, so like during my junior year, and it was also online. The content itself is like very easy to understand, but like in this class you have to take a shit ton of notes, and like I think it's not just like my high school where you have to take a lot of notes and it's a lot of work. I think like in general with all high schools who teach apes, like it's a lot of work. But again, like the content is really easy to understand. It just has to the content is about like the environment. I mean, no shit, AP environmental. science, but also like earth science and like, I don't know, and just like the way we like treat our earth and stuff and our carbon footprint and just like things we can do to help better our environment, you know, and like better habits we can start doing and implementing into our lives to, I don't know, to live a more sustainable lifestyle and to just help protect our environment because, you know, climate change and stuff.
Mr. Worldwide!
I feel like I did learn a lot of useful things in this class, but at the same time, this class was going on during like a really hard time in my life. And maybe I would be able to rank this higher. I don't know, it's just tea that I don't think has anything to do with this video. And also, like, I hated how everything was online. You know, I asked the teacher at some point, like, if we were in person, if she would still have us do everything on the computer, and she said yes, and that her class has always been like that. But the thing is, like, I don't like that. I don't like having to do everything on the computer. Like, it's so annoying. I'm gonna put this in bland. Yes, I did learn a lot about like how I can live a more sustainable lifestyle, but my overall experience in this class wasn't the best. But yeah, I definitely recommend taking apes for sure. Even if like you're not planning to major in STEM or whatever, or if you're not planning to like have a career in like environmental science, like I think you should still take apes because you learn a lot about like the type of lifestyle you live and just how much your lifestyle impacts the environment in good ways and bad. And especially like in our current state in the world right now with the environment, I think it's really important for you to learn like just how to live a more sustainable lifestyle. Come on, eat this. Eat it. Eat it. Or you can eat this, please. Stop eating my table, please. Please. Please, baby. Stop eating my table. Come on. Whew. Puppies. Am I right? Okay, French 1-2. So I took this class my freshman year of high school, and in fact, this was my first high school class ever. And yeah, so it was my first period during my freshman year. It was definitely my favorite class my freshman year. Like, I would always look forward to going to French 1-2. It was so fun, and I was so eager to learn everything. And this was a class where like everything was so easy to learn. After French 1-2, each year just gets harder and harder and harder.
Are you lost, baby girl?
But yeah, I had so much fun in French 1-2. I made so many good memories. Actually, I sat in the same seat like all 4 years of French. Well, excluding my junior year, so 3, because online school. I think that's pretty cool to mention. I loved French so much, especially freshman year. I'm gonna have to put this in 8 because it's just it ate. It ate so much. It was so delicioso. Although I find it kind of funny that also with French, there's only one French teacher. So maybe that better explains why like my schedule every single year was always so stiff and it was always so hard to like generate a schedule with all the classes I wanted because there's only one French teacher, so there weren't as many French classes to choose from. Little did freshman year Iris know that French would give her a lot of scheduling issues. So that's French 1-2. I love French 1-2 so much. The next class I'm going to be ranking is Gov. More specifically, American government.
This one is for the boys with the booming system, top down AC with the coolest system. When you come up in the club, you be blazing up. Got stacks on deck like you saving up.
So the content is like US history, but
I got a big fat ass.
we learn like the government aspect of things rather than like, oh, like this is what happened during the Revolutionary War and this many people died and George Washington married this person while Thomas Jefferson married this person and yada yada yada. You know, it's not that. Like, we learn like the government aspect of things. We learn how like certain constitutional rights became a thing, and we learn about the Constitution. We learn about like different government positions, different trials like Roe v. Wade and a bunch of other trials. Like content-wise, curriculum-wise, I don't think Gov is too hard of a class to understand. Like, you probably already know a lot about US history anyway, so like Gov wouldn't be like completely new, because like you probably have already touched these topics before in your previous US history classes in high school and in middle school and in elementary, you know? Although I do have to admit that it's really easy to get your terms and your concepts mixed up in this class, so yeah. And also, the thing with Gov is that, at least least at my school, it's only a semester long. A typical high school class is like 2 semesters long, but Gov is only 1 semester long. So you spend one of your semesters learning Gov and you spend the other semester learning econ. At least that's how it works in my school. I took Gov over the summer before my senior year, and I took Gov and econ at the same time, and I took it at this other school that was in my school district. I took it with another school because I was still debating whether or not I wanted to take any summer classes over the summer before my senior year, whether or not like I would spend it doing something else or, you know, getting ahead during school year. And then last minute I decided that I wanted to take Gov and econ over the summer, but by the time I came to that decision, all of my school district's summer classes were full, so I ended up having to take Gov and econ over the summer, you know, with a different school district. So I made sure with my counselor that the credits would be transferable and stuff, and my counselor gave me the okay, and yeah, I took it with a different school district. I basically took their equivalent of Acellus, but it was like harder than Acellus, because Acellus is just like multiple choice. Everything is multiple choice. You watch videos and then you just do a bunch of multiple choice questions after. While for like this other school district, not only did you have multiple choice, but you also had to do projects and essays and like
Please rise for our national anthem.
other sort of assignments that aren't multiple choice, and then like actual teachers grade your assignments. Yeah, I took Gov and Econ at the same time, but my Gov teacher, okay, I had like a lot of shit to say. One, my Gov teacher truly did not give a shit at all. Like, it didn't help that like I wasn't from their school, so I already felt like an outsider. So I already felt like pretty alone in that aspect, but also like he just didn't give a shit. Actually, he gave me a C for one of my projects because in this project we had to do research on like the city we live in, and I said that a lot of Asian people live where I live, and then he gave me a C. I literally did not know what I did wrong with that project. Like the project itself was pretty self-explanatory. Like I just answered all the questions, right? Anyway, yeah, I didn't really like my teacher that much, and I ended up not getting an actual grade when I took it over the summer. So what ended up happening was that I took Gov during the school year. I originally took it like the actual class at school, and then after like 5 weeks, I like
big boys, itty bitty boys, Mississippi boys, and the city boys
transferred out of Gov, and I took it on Acellus. My counselor advocated for me, which I'm very thankful for, and then I just took Gov over Acellus, and that's how I got a free first period. So yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why you should develop a good relationship with your counselor, because she could have easily just not have done that for me.
Very appreciative about that, because you know, I don't want to sit through a whole semester learning things I've already learned. Because when I took it over the summer, like I literally was almost done with the course. Honestly, like should I talk about it right now? I should. Okay, I should. I'm sorry, I'm like talking so much in this video, which I think is kind of expected because you're asking me to like rank classes that I have a lot of feelings towards. Okay, so not only was I already an outsider because, like, you know, I did not go to their school. I'm talking about the summer program. The person who would proctor all, like, the tests we had to take, she was, like, one of the counselors or something. And the way she would talk to everyone else would be completely different from the way she would talk to me, which makes sense because, you know, she already knew all these other people, but, like, I'm just a complete stranger. But it just made me feel even more like a loner and an outsider. Like, I didn't really feel that welcome, you know? I just felt really uncomfortable, not gonna lie. I felt uncomfortable the whole summer.
Well, the differences were subtle, but they were still there. And also, when we were in the Google Meet, like that's what we used. The Google Meet is where we're all supposed to be taking a test. Like you'd expect the Google Meet to be relatively quiet and like you'd only talk when you need to talk or for questions, you know? But she would talk to like everybody in the meeting and like ask them how their day went and like always just make conversation with them when we're supposed to be taking a test or when people in the Google Meet are supposed to be taking a test. I found that so distracting, which yes, I mean I could mute them, program, but what if she were to say something that I need to hear? But also, you really shouldn't be making conversation in a Google Meet where we're supposed to be taking tests in the first place, because don't you want us to focus on the test? Anyway, that triggered me so much, and I had to put up with that like the whole 6 weeks or something. So
Okay, like the counselor did help me get an A in econ, but that was literally like the last day of the summer program. The only person who helped me the whole time during like those 6 weeks of like the summer class was my econ teacher, which I'll get to that next after I talk about Gov. Okay, I really do not know how to explain this because I also don't have that much brain power as well. Basically, what I thought
Hands on my knees. Hands on my knees.
was the deadline of when you need to finish all of your coursework wasn't actually the deadline. Well, it was the deadline, but like there were a lot of teachers who were giving their like students exceptions and like helping them out, and like even after the deadline they were still letting them finish the course. But I never got that opportunity because I never knew that, like, I don't know, I would have been given the opportunity to finish all my coursework even after the deadline. And I don't mean like an extra week or an extra day or anything. It's just like, you know, like it's like a, oh, I'll help you out a few hours after the deadline. Like, I didn't know that, and no one really ever showed me that kindness. Luckily, I finished econ before the deadline, but I didn't finish Gov before the deadline. But like, I literally finished over like 95% of the class. So I pretty much, like, I was literally on like the last unit for Gov, but I never got to take the unit test for the last unit because of the deadline. And like during this whole time too, like I had like health issues going on. Okay, to be completely honest, I had a case 504.
I'm going to read you the definition of a Case 504 plan. The 504 plan is a plan developed to ensure that a child who has a disability identified under the law and is attending an elementary or secondary educational institution receives accommodations that will ensure their academic success and access to the learning environment. So yeah, I had ongoing health issues and learning disabilities that pretty much made learning very difficult for me, or at least in a school setting. And by law, the school is supposed to make accommodations to make your learning experience easier. Of course, not anyone can get a Case 504. Like, it's a pretty lengthy process and it's very case by case. I didn't get my Case 504 plan until junior year, and that was because my AP Chem teacher helped me get the plan in the first place, which I have a lot to thank my AP Chem teacher for. But yeah, whatever learning disabilities or health issues that are affecting your learning, your school administration will work with you and figure out a plan customized for you. So whether that means, oh, you get extra time on tests and homework assignments and projects, or you get to use your notes during a test, or you go to a separate room to take your tests and quizzes, or you get to eat in a classroom, or for whatever reason, you need to use the elevator for the whole school year. And I think having a service dog falls under Case 504 plan, or at least bringing your service dog to school, because obviously you have to talk to the school first. I think that falls under Case 504 plan, but I could be wrong. Obviously, the plan would be different for everybody who has it. Yeah, I just want to give more clarification on that because not everyone really knows what it is. But like, something that bothers me a lot is how my teachers and the literal person who runs the whole program, so I guess like the vice principal of the school, they all know I have a Case 504, but they don't do shit about it. Except for my econ teacher, of course, but my US history teacher doesn't give a shit. And the vice principal, you know, he even sent me a whole ass email saying, yeah, you can't have an extension. The deadline's the deadline. Too bad. That's what he literally wrote in the email. It was so stone cold. He told me that I can't have an extension, but a bunch of other students get an extension for like a few hours because their teachers give them an extension. Like, if anything, I could have used that few hour extension too, because I actually have learning disabilities. Hello? But nah, like, the vice principal is okay with other teachers doing this, but he won't let me do that. Like, dude, that summer was so fucked up. Okay, I just realized something. When I said that he was okay with other teachers doing that, but not okay with me doing that, I mean, yeah, okay, maybe it wasn't his problem. Maybe my Gov teacher should have just given me an extension like that, right? But at the same time, the vice principal explicitly told me that I couldn't get an extension, that the deadline was a deadline at this certain time on this day. Yeah, and other students get to do that. Dude, I was literally 97% done with my course too. Yes, I literally could have finished within the next hour or two. Like, if you're not going to give me any extensions whatsoever, at least give me accommodations. Like, you know I have a Case 504. You know I have learning disabilities. Like, help a girl out here. Like, don't you want your students to fucking succeed? Like, you didn't offer any accommodations whatsoever. Let's see, the vice principal sent me that email before the last week of school, and then the last week of school, that was when I went insanely crazy. Like, I did not sleep, I did not eat. I was on my period too, so I was like already really tired to begin with. And when I'm on my period, it's like a whole other story. Like, unfortunately, I have PMDD, and so for me, my period symptoms are very, very, very severe. They're definitely on like the severe end of the spectrum. So yeah, I was definitely going really crazy, and my right hand, my whole right hand was swollen. My wrist was really swollen. My writing bump was so big, and it hurt so much. Usually it doesn't hurt. Like right now it doesn't hurt. It never hurts. But during that week, it hurt so much. And just yeah, my whole hand in general was swollen and in pain. Like that's not normal. And I literally should not have to be choosing between changing my pad and continuing to do my schoolwork. Like that shouldn't be a choice here. Hygiene shouldn't be a choice as well. I should be allowed to shower. I don't know how much I showered that week, but really I did not have time to take care of myself that week either. Only for me not to get a grade in Gov. Like, so I went crazy for what? And to find out that a lot of other students have gone extensions, yet you explicitly told me that I couldn't have any extensions whatsoever. Like, make it make sense. And also, fuck you, David. Dude, that was seriously unfair. Dude, I can literally go on and on and on about this. I'm leaving out so many details, and these details aren't like good details either. I think I made my point here.
The only person who showed sympathy and actually tried to help was my econ teacher. Again, like I do not know why like these things always happen to me. Like why me? Why am I so unlucky? Well, like people around me don't have to experience this. Like it doesn't make sense. Also, when I had to retake Gov over the school year during my senior year, I originally did not like my teacher. And luckily my counselor let me switch.
Yeah, that teacher would like bang his sword around the classroom and stuff, and that would just trigger my PTSD so much. So that's another reason why you should develop a good relationship with your counselor, because my counselor did that for me with no hesitation. And also it turned out that that teacher likes girls too, so and not like the old kind.
I'll talk more about that like when I make a video about like high school advice. Okay, like Gov is death, like obviously like deathly fucking allergic. Like I do not want to relive that again. This class, like US history, left me so traumatized. So the next class is econ, and you probably already heard me say how much I love my econ teacher. I love David so much. David, if you are watching this, I'm so sorry I call you David. Like typically with a teacher I don't respect, I call them by their first name. So like my US history teacher, I'm sorry. I never called you by your formal last name. Like, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry at all. Like, why should I be sorry when you put me through like so much pain and suffering? But me calling my econ teacher by his first name, it's not because I don't respect him. One,
Don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone.
it's because I don't remember his last name. His last name was so like complicated to pronounce, so like I don't remember his last name. And two, sometimes I call teachers by their first name because I love them so much. So yeah, I love my econ teacher. Like it's so unfortunate how like he doesn't actually teach my high school, because I would love to have him as an actual teacher for a whole school year. Like he genuinely actually tried to help me. But as for econ itself, like the content, I definitely struggled with the content a lot more than Gov, because econ was like something I've never learned before, rather than Gov, like oh like a lot of things like were like touched upon in like previous US history classes. Yeah, but with econ like everything was so new. In econ I learned a lot about money, I learned about like how banks work, I learned about recessions and the Great Depression, and also like inflation, and also like supply and demand, and like how countries trade with one another and stuff, and just taxes. I learned a bit about taxes. I still don't know how to file taxes and stuff. I'm barely 18, so I still have time to learn.
At least before I completely get booted out of the household.
Before like I'm like completely independent and I need to figure things out for myself. But like yeah, I did learn a bit about taxes in econ, which is better than me not knowing anything about taxes at all. Even though I took it over the summer, I still learned like a lot of useful things in that class. I also learned why gas prices are so high and why they were so low during quarantine when like COVID was really bad. Y'all, it's not because of the president. It's because of supply and demand. Something I fucking learned in my econ class. See, I actually learned stuff like in this class. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's mandatory for anyone to take this class anyway at your high school. Like it's not exactly an elective, you know? You kind of have to take this class. But yeah, I did learn some useful things in this class, and I love. I love
Love by love, 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 love by love.
David so much. You know, there was Vice Principal David. I didn't appreciate him at all. I like econ David, not vice principal David. Yeah. Anyway, econ can go all the way to the top. I may have barely gotten an A in that class.
Also, I feel like Classy, that's the name of this K-pop group, I feel like they deserve more recognition because they're actually pretty talented.
But I love David so much. He was so supportive. He actually genuinely tried to help me.
I know I keep repeating that same thing over and over again, but I actually genuinely truly do mean it. And also, I told him that I was depressed, but I'm sorry, David. I was actually more than just depressed.
I love David so much. David deserves all the best things in life. He deserves everything, honestly. I don't think David remembers me.
Actually, my high school's social science department is pretty good. It's not the biggest at my school, but there are definitely a lot of iconic and unique teachers who actually teach. And David's also pretty unique too. I think David would fit in at my high school social science department, and I think he would actually like it there. I can see him being besties with like one specific teacher in the social science department. Yeah, I wish David taught at my high school because I definitely would love having him as a teacher for a whole school year.
I need to stop talking about David and start talking about my free first period,
You make me feel like 11.
which is next. So I had a free first thanks to me being able to take Gov online on Acellus. I was able to have a free first during my first semester, and then because I already like took econ, like I would have automatically have a free first during my second semester. So yeah, yeah, but thanks to Acellus, I was able to have a free first during my first semester as well, which originally wasn't supposed to happen.
Wrist so icy, wonder why she like me, bitch, I'm drowning in water. I just bought a cube and dipped it in a fountain. Everywhere that I go.
Love my free first, but even with the free first, I show up to my third period extremely late. Which that was kind of like out of my control. Like my health was just going out of control. Like my health has been going out of control every single year of high school, mentally and physically. Okay, so I had this free first during my senior year. Like when you're a senior, you can choose between a free first and a free sixth. But because I had a 7th period, I couldn't have a free sixth, so I had free first.
And also, I was taking AP French that year, and there's only one period for AP French, and that was 6th period, so it's not like I could have gone a free sixth anyway.
With the free first, you can sleep in, you can take your time in the morning, you don't have to get to school as early. You could just basically do whatever you want for like the whole first period. And because my senior year was block schedule, even though I didn't have a free first every single day because of block schedule, when I did have a free first, it would be like 2 hours of the school day off. 2 hours. Like that's a lot of extra time to like sleep in and take your time to like get ready in the morning. Yeah, even with the free first, I eventually like still showed up really late to school. But that was because of my ADHD and my bowel issues. Yeah.
Honestly, getting a free first is a really good idea because you get to miss out on all of the morning school traffic by the time you get to school, because you're probably going to go to school later and not when everyone else goes to school. Yeah, there aren't really any cars. The sidewalk isn't crowded with other students. The school hallways aren't crowded with other students as well. If you get a free first, your mornings will be so much more calm. Trust me.
I love my free first so much. She ate so much. Beginning drama. So I took beginning drama my senior year. My senior year, I definitely had a lot of space for electives because honestly, like at this point, like I just need these certain credits to graduate, and then I could just fill the rest of my schedule with any class I want to take. I took drama because for one, I always thought drama would be fun because, you know, improving and stuff, and just if I didn't do band or orchestra, I definitely would have done theater. Yeah, I took beginning drama. I'm going to be a film major.
I'm gonna be your star.
So I felt that it would be pretty necessary to like take a drama class, so you know I have some insight on like how to write scripts and stuff and dialogue and things like that. Even though like being a playwright and being a screenwriter are like two separate things, they both have like something in common, and that's telling a story. So yeah, I thought it would be a big help because, you know, I was planning to be a film major. As for the class itself, there were definitely some fun moments. Like I definitely really enjoyed like all like the different improv exercises we did, but my teacher was absent a lot. I mean, it's not really her fault because, you know, my senior year COVID was still a thing and like everybody was getting COVID. I didn't get COVID, luckily. I'm a COVID virgin and it's gonna stay that way. Yeah, so she was absent a lot, especially during second semester, like most of the things we did.
Baba black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full.
Were just group projects on the computer, which,
Let me tell y'all, it got really boring and really demotivating as well, because doing group work on the computer and stuff, that's not really that fun to begin with. Like the improv games and where we're actually acting, that's where everything's at. That's where all the fun is.
I really, and then like at some point I just completely dreaded going to drama class. I'm not gonna go too much in depth with it, but a class that I thought would be like really fun ended up not being as fun as I hoped. Not to say that I had a completely bad experience in this class, it's just like, it just got really boring. Doing a bunch of group work on the computer, like, it just got really boring. So, we're gonna put this in bland. AP Lit. I have a lot of things to say about this. A lot of good things. Well, I think first it depends on like the teacher you have. My teacher, she was like very experienced with teaching, and she's been teaching for like a really long time, and I love her so much. Everybody in my class loved her. I hope everybody did, because she actually taught a lot of things. Definitely the English department at my school. It's like the English department and the math department, they're like lacking at my school.
Let me rephrase that because I definitely could have worded it better. My high school is definitely a good school academically, so I mean, it's not like the English and math departments are that bad. It's just they do not compare to the other departments at my school. Like, I think the biggest department at my school has to be the science department. Everybody loves the science department.
So it's really hard to find like an English teacher or a math teacher who actually teaches and actually teaches well. Fortunately, my AP Lit teacher actually was like a really good teacher. Like, she taught us a lot of things and also taught us like a lot of life lessons as well. At least me, because I told her like some personal issues and stuff. Like, she was very understanding. She's a very reasonable teacher. I have a lot of good things to say about her. I love her so much. I love her class a lot. Her class was like very engaging. I do have to say though, like AP Lit in general, you have to read a shit ton of books. Like, I hate reading. Okay, well, I don't hate it. I can't get myself to read because I have such a short attention span. And so it's really hard to find a book that like fits my short attention span. Like, oftentimes like the books I enjoy reading are books where like it's just absolute chaos. But anyway, like in AP Lit, you read a bunch of different books and you analyze whatever you read. Yeah, it's not as bad as you may think it is.
My favorite book we read in this class, it has to be Beowulf, because I just really like the story. Buff, strong dude goes on an adventure and slays monsters, and yeah, very adventure-y.
I didn't take the AP exam, but she did prepare us well for the exam, I'm pretty sure. So if you get a really good teacher, AP Lit would definitely be one of your favorite high school classes ever. Definitely. I'm gonna put this like all the way at the top. I only have good things to say about this class. Even like me coming like so late to school every single day, to her class so late, like she never shit talked me, you know? Like, she just figured that like something was going on with me. Yeah, like I only have good things to say about this class.
Also, it's so hard to come across a teacher who has so much compassion and kindness and generosity like my AP Lit teacher. Unfortunately, a lot of teachers aren't like that. I know I kind of sound like I'm listing off My Little Pony characters, but I'm being genuinely serious. It was really easy to get help from her because she was so very easily approachable, and she was more than willing to give accommodations, and also she was just a really understanding teacher. And just with every one of her students, she would understand if, you know, a student were really tired or really stressed because of sports or other academic classes or just anything really. She's just really understanding too. And I've also cried to her as well, so yeah, it's really hard to find teachers like her.
AP Psych. I took this class my senior year, and
Come on, be my love, come on, be my love, baby. Come on, be my love, come on, be my love, baby.
I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. I think what really helps is having an engaging teacher, which I guess like some people didn't like him, which like I can see why. Like, there were definitely a lot of times where I didn't like my psych teacher, but most of the time I liked him a lot. In fact, I kind of loved him, and he actually like taught. He was very engaging with his lectures, and he also provides like extra resources for us in case we need them, in case we want extra resources, and just he really did help us prepare for the exam, but I didn't take the exam. I know I mentioned with like when I was talking about about apes, how like I didn't like how everything was on the computer. In this class, everything was on the computer, but at the same time, like a lot of the classes I was taking during my senior year, we did a lot of work on our computers when typically like during a normal school year before COVID, everything would be on paper, but because of COVID, you know, like it's just less papers were being handed out and stuff. AP Psych was definitely a class where everything was on the computer. All of the homework, all of the classwork assignments, all of the tests, final exams, all of like the things we need to read. If they weren't in the textbook, then they were on the computer. He rarely gave us papers. The only papers he really gave us the entire school year were just like poster papers. Yeah, there was a lot of individual work and group work as well. I think it also just depends on the teacher. But AP Psych in general, the work is, well, it's a lot of work, but you can find a lot of the answers online. So I recommend taking AP Psych because, at least for me, I mean, again, it depends on your teacher as well. Because definitely I can see, you know, like a teacher who doesn't teach ends up teaching AP Psych. And even though you can find all the answers online, having a teacher who doesn't teach just makes your life even harder. You know, if your teacher doesn't teach, there's no way for you to be able to like fully comprehend and understand all the concepts you're supposed to learn. But yeah, I loved AP Psych so much. I had so much fun and I loved my table so much. Yeah. And I was always excited to go to AP Psych every single day. I love that class so much. Like, I have a lot more things to say, but I feel like we should get a move on because I've been talking for over 2 hours and I'm still not close to being done yet. But yeah, I love AP Psych. I definitely recommend. Actually, my counselor originally recommended me taking AP Psych because she said that as a film major, I should know like how the human brain works. Even if I didn't need to know how the human brain were to work, I would still take the class anyway because it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of work, but again, like you can find the answers online. If you have a very engaging teacher, I don't know, that just makes the class entirely worth it. Literally everything I learned in this class was like stuff I never knew before. I didn't really learn much about like mental illnesses. We never really covered mental illnesses, but you know, I have plenty of that.
I do want to mention they have to memorize a bunch of vocabulary terms, and basically AP Psych is a memorization game. So yeah, I hope you like writing flashcards.
AP French. So I took this my senior year. This is my 4th year French. Actually, in the state of California, I don't know if it's like this in other states. When you take a language for 4 years in high school, you can get the biliteracy seal. And this seal will be on your high school diploma when you graduate. So you basically take 4 years of a certain foreign language and you keep up your grade in your foreign language and in your English classes. You pass your state test and that makes you eligible for the biliteracy award, which really isn't the hardest thing to earn. And not only do you get a seal on your diploma, you also get a cord as well. So that was like one of the reasons why I took French for all 4 years, even though like French fucked up my schedule so much every single year. But I mean, I also stayed in French for all 4 years because of the teacher and just because of the class itself. My French classes were like not like my other classes. Felt like you mattered in that class, you know? AP French itself. Okay, so the difference between AP French and French 7-8, you both learn the same things, but just if you're in AP French, you may have some like extra work and definitely things are like graded differently and things like that. But even like AP French, I still didn't have to work that hard to get a good grade. Like it definitely wasn't too hard. We barely did anything in that class. I never took the exam and I don't think I would ever take the exam because like foreign language AP exams are so crazy. Like I literally cannot do that. There's like a speaking portion, a writing portion, just like too much work, too much stress. And over a language that like I use Google Translate on, no. But yeah, I had a good time in AP French. I had like a much better time in AP French than I did in like French 5-6. And even though I had no idea what I was doing in that class, the people around me also didn't know what they were doing as well. So it was kind of a bonding experience. I don't have anything bad to say about this class. It was fun while it lasted. And what was really bittersweet was that my first high school class ever was French 1-2, and then my last high school class forever.
Yeah, I really hope that was forever because I really do not want to go back to high school. No, I graduated, I'm done.
And then my last high school class ever was AP French. It's like full circle. It's like corny and sweet and just sad. Yeah, so that's AP French. I would definitely totally recommend you take AP French because most likely it won't be so different from French 7-8. And also like just because you take the AP class doesn't mean you have to take the exam. Also the exams are like expensive too. They're like over $90. It's totally understandable if you don't want to take the actual exam.
Also, there is no guarantee that you'd get college credit from the AP tests you take. One, you have have to score really well in order to be considered for college credit. And 2, it mainly depends on what college you're going to go to, because depending on the college you're going to go to, they only accept certain AP scores. They don't accept all AP scores. So even if you do really well, who knows if your college would actually accept your AP scores. So honestly, if your school offers dual enrollment, do dual enrollment, because dual enrollment is actual college credit, because you're actually taking a college course. So yeah, if you want college credit, take dual enrollment, because that will guarantee you college credit. AP scores is just like consideration for college credit. So why would you pay money for college credit that isn't guaranteed? Y'all, if you have dual enrollment, take dual enrollment. So I just realized that not everyone may know what dual enrollment is. So dual enrollment is basically where you're in high school and you're taking college courses at the same time. This is something your high school would offer, and typically these college courses are courses from your local community college. So yeah, for dual enrollment, it's something you do not need to pay for, and typically with dual enrollment, you can knock out as much as 2 years worth of college credits. Actually, I never did dual enrollment, but I know it exists. As for transferring college credits and stuff, you're always going to need to make sure that your college credits are transferable to the college you want to go to. That's just like the general nature. I mean, I go to community college now, and all of my credits are UC and CSU transferable, but if I end up wanting to go to a school that's not a UC or CSU, I'm going to have to make sure my credits are transferable and stuff. Yeah, that's just the general nature of it, but when you do dual enrollment, you actually get college credit. That's actual college credit, rather than if you're to take an AP test. Again, that's just a score given to colleges, and it's really up to the colleges to decide if they consider giving you college credit, if that makes any sense. But still take AP classes and AP tests, because that really shows colleges that you've tried to challenge yourself academically during your time in school.
But yeah, just take AP French anyway for the GPA boost, because really you're still doing the same things as French 7-8, so you might as well just get the extra GPA boost, right? I recommend AP French. It's hard. I didn't understand anything, but I got through it and I got a good grade in AP French. It's much easier to get a B in AP French than it is to get an A in French 7-8. Keep that in mind. And AP classes are weighted. I know in the state of Washington, they don't actually have any weighted grades, but like literally everywhere else in the country, AP classes are weighted. So a B in AP French is the equivalent of an A. So really you have nothing to lose when you take AP French. And if it is too hard for you, or if you don't want to take AP French anymore, you could just drop and just take French 7-8 instead. I don't know why I'm talking so much about French when the majority of you probably aren't even taking French in the first place, but if your school does offer French as a foreign language, I totally recommend. It is so much easier than like Mandarin. Yeah, I'm Chinese myself. It's so much easier to read than Mandarin, because at least French words are like romanized. I mean, you do have pinyin when it comes to Mandarin, but when you read, you aren't always gonna see the pinyin, you know? AP French, I'm still hungry, but it's cute. Band. So I took band all 4 years of high school, and band is definitely just more than the class itself. It's a lot of commitment over the summer and during the school year, after school practices, or like typically marching bands, they have like 0 period and they practice during 0 period, but at my school we're different. We don't actually practice during 0 period. But yeah, it's just like a lot of commitment. A marching band is not easy too. Like you have to march and play your instrument well, and people don't even consider band as a sport, which okay, yeah, I don't think band is a sport either. I think band is much more than a sport. It requires much more commitment than a sport. I'm not gonna talk about my whole band experience in this video, because that is a lot. That is 4 years of experience. I am not gonna fit into this video because I went through so much in band. But I will say this, I was in both band and orchestra, and I definitely felt that I fit in more with orchestra than I did with band, especially because I originally started playing music on a string instrument, so obviously like orchestra already has a special place in my heart. I only took band so I could get P credits. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, band gives you PE credits.
Yeah, I took band to get PE credits. With orchestra, you can't really do other sports, and I didn't want to take the actual PE class, and my mom didn't want me to take the actual PE class, so that's why I originally joined band, and then I stayed there for 4 years.
You know, band is a lot more fun than PE and running around in PE uniform and like changing in locker rooms and stuff, and just regular PE just seems so gross to me. You know, I gotta thank band for that. Although, like, okay, we're talking about the band class itself. I don't know, man. It's just dumb. It's just kind of bland. In class, we would just basically rehearse our music. It's like nothing too bad. It's not like we do a mile run every single day in class, you know?
There are some sports like football and volleyball and swim that give you PE credits, while some sports like cross country and track don't give you PE credits. So to all the people who say that band isn't a sport, sport, at least I get PE credits for not doing anything sporty.
Orchestra. Orchestra is also a lot of commitment as well, but like not as much of a commitment as band. Band is like all year round, while orchestra, things really only get busy in orchestra during second semester because we play during the musical, and that's typically during the second semester. What I mean by playing the musical is like we play the background music. The music you hear during the musical, it's all live music and it's coming from us. It's a pretty cool experience to be a part of a musical. While I was in orchestra, my freshman year we did Shrek. My sophomore year we did Freaky Friday. Right after Freaky Friday was done, quarantine happened, shutdown happened, and then junior year we didn't have musical, although we did have to compose music though for this one other drama thing, but it wasn't a musical. And then my senior year we were about to do Addams Family, but then the musical got cancelled because of the rise in COVID cases. So yeah, I really was only fortunate enough to do 2 musicals. It's really stressful. But as for like orchestra class itself, at some point, this was like mainly during my freshman year, orchestra was like the thing that was keeping me alive because I was so depressed. Like I was always, when I was looking forward to my French 1-2 class, but I was also looking forward to orchestra at the end of the day. Like it's just like, oh, like especially if I'm having like a really bad day, and then at the end of the school day I have orchestra, so that's when like I can release all my stress and my anger and just do something I enjoy. Orchestra is also like a much more professional environment than band, so I do have to give orchestra props for that. So orchestra, I'm still hungry, but you're cute. Bio honors. Biology is definitely my favorite science subject. Science is just like a huge umbrella and there are like a bunch of different types of sciences. My specific favorite, okay, it's not exactly biology, but like I'm very much into human anatomy. I unfortunately was not able to take the physiology class during my time in high school. Like there was no way I'd be able to fit in my schedule, and also I'm not trying to do pre-med anymore, so like what's the point of me learning about the human body when I should be using that class slot for something else that would help me with what I'm trying to major in. But anyway, I took bio honors my freshman year. It's like the honors version of your average regular biology class. Bio honors at my school is notoriously known for being like really good and really challenging. Like the teacher is really good at teaching. Literally like everybody wants to take bio honors. Like not even kidding, like everybody in 8th grade, before you choose your high school classes, like everybody already knows to take bio honors. Like that's how like popular the class is. I fortunately was able to get it. Yeah, the bio honors teacher really did teach. She taught a lot and she was like really good at teaching, and she always kept her lessons fun and engaging, and we also did a lot of labs, and we even like dissected worms and frogs. And I wasn't there when they did this, but they put worms in the oven too to dehydrate worms. I wasn't there because I had an orchestra field trip that day. But yeah, we did a lot of cool things in bio honors. Although like during my senior year, like I don't know, the teacher said some like really weird things to me, like things I did not appreciate. But the class itself, like I had so much fun in this class. It didn't help that like I was really depressed during this time during my freshman year, so I didn't get to like fully enjoy this class. But yeah, this class completely ate. Wow, I've been talking so long that like my voice is like croaking and like I can't talk properly. My throat is like low-key kind of sore. A1, also known as Accelerated Math 1. I took this class my freshman year, and especially with math, like there are like so many math teachers at my school who don't actually teach. So you really have to watch out for that, and you just really gotta pray. Like especially if you're taking a harder class, so like an honors or AP math class, you just really gotta pray that you get a good teacher who actually teaches.
Actually, I know for the fact that the AP math teachers are really good teachers, which is really good because AP math classes are supposed to be really challenging and hard, so having a good teacher who actually teaches is really helpful because you can much better learn these harder math concepts.
Fortunately for me, I got the teacher who only taught Sorry, my card was full, so I had to take care of that. But anyway, as I was saying, fortunately for me, I got the math teacher who only taught one A1 class, who was notoriously known for being hard. And although he did teach, he was also known to like play favorites, and his tests were always like hard and stuff. And it's just his class was always just hard. He did teach, but his class was just hard. Not in a sexual way. I mean, I wouldn't say Accelerated Math 1 math curriculum is like that hard to begin with, Like definitely the math gets harder year after year, but I did learn some new things in that class. Like for example, how to do proofs. Actually, I was not there when the teacher taught the class how to do proofs. So for the whole semester, I didn't understand how to do proofs, and that like made my grades suffer so much. And finally, towards the end of the semester, everything just clicked. But it was too late. My grades suffered too much. And then there's also an instance where I asked if he could round my grade up, and he said no, but I can round your grade down. I mean, that's not like the meanest thing he could have said, but like at the same time, like, oh, what the fuck? I still love him though. He's still a fun teacher. Like honestly, even though I suffered a good amount in this class, and also like with this class, right, it's so easy for your grade to drop, but like right when you want to raise your grade, like your grade is a brick. You could be getting like straight A's for like the next 10 assignments, and your grade would only go up by like 0.5%. Like I'm not even exaggerating. But then like your grade drops so easily. So it's so, oh my god. Yeah, his class was not the easiest, and he's definitely not the easiest math teacher at my school, although he does teach, which is really rare and really hard to find at my school. Yeah, I have to put his class up there. Like, I can't put his class any lower. And also, literally everything in my A1 class, like, was a joke. The teacher was very memeable. Everything we learned in class, all like the things he would show us in class, the videos and stuff, memes. The last day of school, when like we would draw on the whiteboards and stuff, memes from the class, a bunch of like inside joke references. Just the whole class itself was like very memeable. So yeah, it's like I made a lot of good memories in that class. And I was like the person in my class who like colors everything, like colors every single foldable with like markers and stuff in every single little box, like a different color, like just to like purposely piss off my teacher.
I don't think my teacher was ever pissed.
I remember this one time we had like this one foldable that we needed to color, and then my teacher was like, oh, I know you're gonna enjoy this. Yeah, it was like one of those mazes you had to color. And then like my notebook was always so organized, and my binder, like everything in my binder was so organized. Like I loved his class a lot. Like I did struggle, but I loved his class a lot, and like his class was so funny. It was really entertaining. Like during the rest of my time in high school, I did not have a math class that was like his. His class was so fun.
Also, the teacher was so fed up with my class. Not fed up in a bad way, but just like we were a different breed. And what I mean by that was like he didn't have a class like us pretty much ever. And I don't think he would have a class like us after our class. If that makes any sense. Like we're his one and only rowdy class. Like, but I mean not rowdy in a bad way, but just like everybody has their own personality going on, and just so many jokes cracked left and right, and the whole class was just a handful to deal with.
GFSF, also known as Get Focused, Stay Focused. This class is kind of like relatively new.
IU?
This class has been a thing at my school for like a couple of years now, but like I'd say it's still pretty recent when they like added it to the schedule. So Get Focused, Stay Focused is basically college and career readiness class, and everybody has to take it. You typically take it during your freshman year, but I know someone who like transferred to my school during their sophomore year, and they had to take it during their sophomore year. So like you spend one semester doing Get Focused, Stay Focused, and you spend the other semester of the school year doing Explore Wheel, which I'll talk about Explore Wheel next after I talk about this class. So Get Focused, Stay Focused specifically, you basically just plan out your future, and you learn about like colleges, college admissions, different careers. You look into like careers you're interested in and like what college degree you need, and also you learn how to budget, and you learn a bit about taxes. You learn about budgeting and like life expenses. Honestly, I learned things that I probably wouldn't have learned in any other class in high school.
I'm a savage.
I know a lot of people were complaining that it was a complete waste of time, which yeah, it kind of was a waste of my time as well, but like now that I'm 18, you know, and I need to learn how to do things on my own, the only class or the only place I did learn how to do things on my own was Get Focused, Stay Focused. That was the most I learned about like living independently. You know, I definitely do wish that I could have spent that class period doing like another class that I would have actually enjoyed, but I did learn some like pretty useful things in Get get focused, stay focused, I wouldn't have learned in any other class. That remained helpful, and that will be very, very helpful when like I move out and stuff. I mean, also depends on your teacher as well. My get focused, stay focused teacher was like she was really good. Yeah, I feel like having a good teacher for this class definitely did help me survive and not get bored of this class. Having a good teacher for this class makes this class more enjoyable. This class wasn't the worst class I've ever taken in my high school career, but wasn't the best, so.
And to all the people who say that this class is a complete waste of time, like why did it even add this class in the first place? You have to realize that everybody comes from a different background, so not everybody has the same exposure to the real world as other people. Like not everyone may know how to apply to colleges, how to apply for scholarships, financial aid, how to budget, how to write a resume, how to find a job, and even how to search for a house or apartment. Like in this class, we all had to find like a future house we live in with a reasonable rent or mortgage that fit our future career salary. Like, and we had to do all that budgeting, and we also had to plan, hey, are we also gonna have any kids or dogs in the future? Like, this class helps you practice skill sets you would need in the real world, like when you're out of high school and you're making a living for yourself. We even had to make grocery lists and figure out dental, health insurance, and auto insurance, and like things like that. A lot of practice budgeting in real life situations.
Explore wheel. So this is the class you take during the same year. You take get focused, stay focused. Not everybody in your grade has the same wheel. Each set of students has like a different wheel of careers to experience. Explore wheel is just 3 6-week rotations, and each rotation is like a different career that you'd be learning about. So my wheel was web design, graphic design, and medical terminology. And like there were like some other classes in Explore wheel that I unfortunately didn't get, but I would have enjoyed, like foods. I really wanted foods, but I didn't get foods. So I'll talk about my wheel and like my experience because it was interesting. My first rotation was web design, and I didn't really learn anything in that class, TBH. In fact, all we did in that class was typing work to help us type faster or something, and then we learned how to use HTML. I think that's what it's called. I'm not too much of like a
My baby, she says she wanted dancing with the ghost. She wants to leave me out. My baby, she says she wanted dancing with the ghost. She want to leave me out.
Computer person, so I wouldn't exactly know. And then for like our final project, we had to make some sort of story with some coding program. You know, me and this other person, we came to this compromise where I would do his typing work and he would do my HTML work. So that's how I finished that rotation. Because you know, like I was not interested in learning about HTML. Hello? That's like not my thing. But then the typing, like I could type fast, and like it was just a bunch of mindless work. So that was web design. Yeah, and then my second rotation was graphic design, which it was not that fun. For one, the teacher didn't actually teach. He just expected us to already know how to use things, and like he'd tell us to do something on Photoshop and we were supposed to figure out on our own because that's how we would truly learn. But like, hey, like most of us have never used Photoshop before, so how do you expect us to like be able to do what you want us to do when we've never used the program before in the first place? Like typically, don't you have to pay for Photoshop? Like, and then also like he would always be asking us if we knew how to make chicken and rice. It was like, do you know how to use Photoshop? Do you know how to make the chicken and rice? First you take the chicken and then you take the rice, like, but like in like a Chinese accent, which I don't want to do because I don't want to get canceled. But like literally, what does chicken and rice have to do with Photoshop? Like he even made a girl in my class cry because she didn't know how to make chicken and rice. Why? Like, why would you expect us to know how to make chicken and rice? Like, please, not everybody in your class is Chinese. And then also his room would stink too, which I wouldn't be surprised if he actually were to smoke in his room. It's not the barbecue meat type of smoke. It was like the weed type of smoke. Like that's what it smelled like. I mean, someone told me that they once caught the teacher smoking in his room, but like that's not with my own eyes. But like I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did smoke in his room because like his room fucking stinks so much. Anyway, third rotation was medical terminology. And you see also, in graphic design, the teacher literally gave me like straight C's. Like, if you're gonna give me straight C's on these assignments, then you better be telling me what I'm doing wrong. Or at least better be teaching us how to like do these, whatever you want us to do in the first place. Like, so anyway, my grade dropped significantly. It dropped all the way to like a D. And then I spent all of third rotation trying to bring up my grade, and I pretty much got like straight A's during my third rotation. Like, my grade went up to a B, and then even though I kept getting straight A's, my grade dropped. And it was because like each rotation used a different grading system. One rotation used like a weighted grading system, and then like another rotation just used like point system scale. So then that was just like making my grade drop.
I bring the pain like
because just like every rotation was using a different grading scale. My third rotation, medical terminology, it wasn't too bad. But the second rotation, graphic design, that was not fun.
That was not fun at all.
So honestly, Explore Wheel,
I have a headache.
I enjoyed Get Focus, Stay Focused a lot more than I enjoyed Explore Wheel. English Honors 1-2. I took this class my freshman year. It's like your first year of English, but the honors version of it. This class, I was also fortunate enough to get the hardest teacher who literally has like such hard tests and grades so hard on essays. Like, literally she'd be like putting the most random shit on the test. Like, oh, what did this person do on this page in this paragraph of The Fault in Our Stars? Like, that was literally like one of the questions. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. Anyway, as I was saying, I was so fortunate enough to get the hardest teacher who only taught one period of English 1-2 honors. Wow, like how fortunate and lucky am I? Like, wow. But the thing is, like, she actually did teach, and I learned a lot in her class, and I learned a lot about how to write a good essay, considering that she like graded my essays so harshly. I personally think she grades every single essay on like a different scale, because there's like no way my essays were actually like that bad. Like, there's no way. There's no way. But at the same time, she did help me write a lot better essays. And it was in her class where I was introduced to Jane Schaefer writing. It took me a while to get the hang of Jane Schaefer, but you know, after I got the hang of it, writing essays have gone so much easier. So, you know, I've got to give that class props. And I did make a lot of good memories, and she's also like a really fun teacher, and she also talks about her kids a lot too. And when she taught English honors my year, that was like her first year back from maternity leave, and she took like a few years off. So like when I said, oh, like I had this teacher for English honors 1-2, the people I'd be talking be like, oh, like who are you talking about? Because she had been on maternity leave for so long. But anyway, her class, iconic. It was hard, but it was fun, and I learned a lot. And my English honors table was so good, and the teacher was so impressed with us. So you know, this class ate. It was difficult, but she ate.
Is your finger looking good?
M2 also stands for Math 2. I took M2 the summer before my sophomore year. I wanted to get a year ahead on math, so that's when I took math over the summer. Typically, people take M1 over the summer before the freshman year, and then they take accelerated Math 2 during their actual freshman year. But I took M2 over the summer, and then I took accelerated Math 3 during my sophomore year. So that's like how I got ahead in math. The class itself was okay. The math wasn't too hard. The teacher himself, he was kind of an old man, but you know how like Asians don't raisin, so like he still looked pretty young, but in reality he was pretty old. Apparently he and I went to the same elementary school, and he also went to my high school too. And he was like talking about how he used to walk to elementary school and to high school.
When I went to school, I walked 20 miles uphill, both ways, 26 hours a day on one foot. My other foot was starting a business.
Assuming that he lived in the same area as me, walking to high school, I've tried walking back home from high school before, and TBH, it's not that bad. It's definitely doable, but it's kind of a bit of walking, so it's something I definitely do not want to do every day, especially in the heat.
But then you would always talk about like the
Oh baby, baby, how was I supposed to know?
high school he teaches that, and like he would always talk about how we should just transfer to his high school and join his school's Mesa club. But no thank you. I'm very much fine with like the current high school. Well, at the time, the current high school I went to. I did get in trouble for having too many tardies, but he just counted wrong. So because of that, I kind of had a little bit of a grudge against him, so I didn't enjoy him as much as other people did. I'm gonna put M2 under Still Hungry But Cute. Because the content wasn't too hard and the teacher was okay. But yeah, the class wasn't my favorite. Regular chemistry. I took this for a hot minute. For like 3 weeks during the beginning of my sophomore year. I originally wanted chem honors, but I never got chem honors because I didn't get any classes on my schedule because of like scheduling conflicts and stuff. So the computer decided to give me classes that I didn't want to take. So I literally wanted to kill myself in regular chem. Like, I know that like in regular chem and chem honors, you're still learning chemistry, but it's like a different level. And it's not that I was like trying to shop for like weighted classes because chem honors was weighted. Like, it's not like I was trying to shop for like a GPA boost, but I genuinely wanted to take chem honors because like regular chem is too easy for me. Like, they teach too slow. I was originally put in like a regular chemistry class for ELD students, and I felt really bored in that, and like I was just having so much of like an anxiety attack in that class. Like, even though it looked like nothing from the outside, from the inside I was like but anxiety, not Elmo.
I mean, I did cry plenty during the beginning of the school year, but I mean, still, not really anyone would see that because I'm not the type of person who would cry. Let alone, I don't really like crying in front of other people, so nor am I a loud crier. So why am I talking about crying? Like just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not going on behind the scenes.
Yes, bring your popcorn and zero Coke and let's all watch Iris hyperventilate over a class that she originally did not request and did not expect to take and did not want to take. No hate to the teacher though. The teacher is really nice. Yeah, I was just really bored, and eventually, like after like 2 days, my counselor switched me into a different regular chemistry class. It's just like taught by another teacher, and I did enjoy that class more than I enjoyed the first regular chemistry class I was originally put in, which the teacher of like the class I got transferred into, she's the AP Chem teacher. She's really nice. She tried to help me out like to get into like a chem honors class. It didn't fit into my schedule. I stayed in regular chem for like 3 weeks, and then like right before the deadline where like you can't transfer into like another class, I transferred into physics, regular physics, because there was space in regular physics. So I transferred to physics, which my counselor was not very supportive of, but the girl's gotta do what she gotta do, especially in a life or death situation. I feel like me talking about what happened in this class is making me sound like a really immature person, but in all honesty, I literally could not control how I felt in one class. I just knew that I don't enjoy feeling this way and that I needed out. I was not thriving in chemistry. I can't stay in regular chem. Like I wouldn't be able to do it for like a whole school year. Not even like a whole week. Actually, a week is pushing it. My counselor didn't really understand that, but it's okay. She still let me transfer, but like she made me cry the day I transferred because she was very unsupportive of it. Yeah, like all of this could have been prevented if the computer gave me chem honors in the first place. Yeah, meaning that the computer is sexist, racist, and anti-slave. Yeah, I did not enjoy my time in regular chemistry, so I think it's pretty obvious that it's gonna be under Deathly Allergic. The last class on this tier list is World History. I originally wanted WAP, which stands for World History AP. I wasn't able,
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand.
to get WAP because that one specific year, oh, this is my sophomore year I'm talking about, there was only one period of WAP, and it was like 4th period, and I couldn't take WAP because my 4th period was banned and I couldn't like change it. Like I can't just like drop that class like any other class.
I wanna see some ass. I wanna see some ass.
So I wasn't able to take WAP that year. I did take the AP exam, but I didn't do too well on it. It's okay. I never had to submit any of my scores, and yeah, no one has to know. But yeah, I took regular world history, and the teacher was very passionate. She's an old lady. She was really passionate about history, although she was like a little slow on like the cheating. A lot of people cheated in my class. I didn't.
It doesn't matter how she learned, it's new.
She cheated!
In reality, I never actually cheated on tests, although I did see people around me who were using their phones during the tests and were looking up answers on Quizlet and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of funny how like I can see them on their phones, but the teacher can't. It's weird. But anyway, I didn't cheat on tests, but I did cheat on the homework. I did get pissed at her when she gave me detention. She gave me detention twice for having too many tardies, which was not fun. fun, but I mean that was kind of on me.
This was when I knew there was something wrong with my brain, but I didn't know what was wrong with my brain, and I thought I was going crazy. But it turned out I had ADHD, and like, yeah, I was like going crazy every single morning because I had no sense of time.
I mean, it was an okay class. It wasn't the most interesting. Like, it was just, I did a bunch of independent work. I remember before like quarantine happened, we had to do a group project, and like I misheard the due date, so I ended up doing the whole group project on my own by myself. So that was fun, so fun. But I'm gonna put world history in the middle. Wasn't my favorite, wasn't my least favorite. I don't really have any like extremely negative feelings about it, but it's not like I like enjoyed my time in world history or whatever. I love history, I love learning about history, but class itself was really boring and slow. Anyway, that's it for my tier list. Here it is. You can pause and look at it, or just continue looking at it for the next couple of seconds. I know this may seem like I have taken very little high school classes for like all 4 years, but in reality, I've only mentioned band and orchestra once on this list, when in reality I've been in band and orchestra for all 4 years. So in reality, band and orchestra.
My earring's gone! Oh my god, I'm gonna cry! My diamond earring! What's wrong with you guys? My diamond earring came off in the ocean and it's gone. Kim, there's people that are dying.
Should both be there like 4 times on this tier list, but I didn't do that. So it looks like I took less high school courses than I actually did. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know how I'm gonna like fucking edit this video. This video is gonna be so long as fuck. I just already know it because I literally did not stop talking for the past over 3 hours. Yikes. My camera battery is gonna die soon, so I need to hurry up with this outro. I think after I finish filming this, I'm gonna go like get ready for bed. Do you want to know what time it is? 3:18 a.m. Wild, I know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up maybe. If you want to see more of me, you should totally subscribe. Or you don't have to, but I would be very happy if you did. I genuinely hope you enjoyed like me ranting about all the classes I took in high school, and maybe hopefully, you know, even though this video wasn't like the most informative and the most educational, maybe you got something out of this video, and like maybe you know what classes you shouldn't take, what to expect out of classes you don't know much of. Hopefully this video helped you in that way. Yeah, if you have any like questions about high school, you can like totally ask me. But I am planning on making another video about high school advice, and I'm just gonna talk about my high school experience and like things I wish I knew. And like, I'm not even kidding, like I'm just like no boundaries, like just like complete honest truth. There are literally like a bunch of things people do not tell you. Like I'm pretty sure like these things like you really need to hear. So keep a lookout for that video. It's gonna come out soon. I still need to plan it. It's like a lot of planning because I have so many things to say. If you can't tell, I talked so much in this video. But anyway, yeah, that's it for this video. See you next time or next week. Peace.